I'm standing between marker stones 28A and 28B. In fact, there's a marker stone just in front of me here, which was erected by Alexander Keeler in the late 1930s to represent where a former standing stone once stood. And we're going to walk to a very special area of the West Kennet Stone Avenue. Keeler, in the late 30s, alongside Professor Stuart Pigott, said that some of the stones represented male and female forms. And the diamond-shaped stone, he said, represented a female, yin stone, if you will, and the column-like stones would represent masculinity, male stones. And Keeler erected a lot of these marker stones throughout Avebury, and they're all kind of identical. And when we have a look at this stone here, this is what I mean. They're kind of pointed slightly towards the top. But this stone that we're approaching now, this marker stone of Keeler's, is very different. It's the only marker stone at Avebury that has a flat top. Why? Well, in the 30s excavation, Keeler and Pigott, they found what they called evidence of an occupation site. And stone 30B marks that. But it wasn't an occupation site. There was no real evidence when it was re-evaluated by Josh Pollard and all. So what was going on? There was no stone ever stood here. There was a gap in the avenue, a large gap in the avenue with this stone. So it's the stone that never was, in a way, and many theories abound. Keeler said occupation, but there was arrowheads, sacred objects. There's another theory by Lionel Sims that says it was all about blood sacrifice. Yeah, let's put our prehistoric ancestors as vicious and savage. I do not think that at all. And he goes on to say in his theory, it represents sacrificial blood that must be spilt at dark moon. That's the conjunction between the sun and the moon when it's hardly visible in the sky. So we have 10 holes here and 2 pits. I think what was going on is this was temple space. This was temple space in the Neolithic period, and it was deemed sacred. If we look at the earth energies here, then Hamish Miller was the first to point out that the avenue stones, the width of the avenue stones, mark the flow of the St. Michael earth current as it flows from the sanctuary towards Avebury. So here, in geodetic energy terms, that was discovered many years ago, we have what's called a maze. Energy after energy after energy, creating a geodetic power place. And this is where I believe very important ceremonies were used. And we can see there's that hill there, it's called Wading Hill, after Odin, the Norse god Odin. And could you imagine seeing the stars, seeing the moon, seeing the sunset? Because at Avebury, this is the first place, in a way, where the sun actually sets. And we'll have a slight look around here at the avenue that goes all the way to Avebury stone circles. Let's see our ancestors in their true light, astronomers, geomancers, and not making people be murdered in sacrifice for blood, for dark moon rituals. I think that is so far removed from the truth. Bring back the dignity, bring back their beauty, their grace, their sophistication. This is Avebury, and it was theirs.